The X-Files first hit screens in 1993. It was a huge international hit, and it became something of a cultural phenomenon. This was the TV show that everyone was talking about, and in many ways it was the Game of Thrones of its day. In fact, I would argue that it was more successful as it's had a longer legacy and of course it has spawned 2 Hollywood films, and was revived for 2 further seasons starting in 2016. And of course, during that 20 plus year legacy, there have been numerous comic adaptations, audio plays, spin-offs, computer games, and the theme tune was even released as a single, and of course it was a merchandising juggernaut. But the one thing we didn't see too much of was action figures. And the first time we did see some action figures was for the first film, Fight the Future, which were produced by McFarlane Toys. And as you'd expect from McFarlane Toys, made in the 90s, these were figures with good likenesses, nice detailing, but not a lot of articulation. And the line was very short-lived, it just had the one wave. There wouldn't be any more action figures until Sideshow Collectibles launched a 12-inch range of figures, or a 1/6 scale range of X-Files figures. These figures were much like their James Bond line in that they were highly detailed, good articulation, and had character-appropriate accessories. After these figures were released, it would be a long wait before collectors could get their hands on new X-Files action figures. In fact, nothing would be produced again until Diamond Select released 2 tie-in figures for the Return series in 2016. But today I thought I'd have a quick look at the Mulder and Scully Sideshow Collectible 1/6 scale figures. And the first thing I have to note about these figures is the packaging. They've done a really nice job with the presentation. I love the eerie green X logo that they've got on the cover there. And the font they've used for the names of the agents, plus with their profile picture of the actual actors, and the still taken from the TV show as they're walking through with their torches, just really captures the feel of the show. And the overall colouring and design of the packaging is just very attractive and looks very nice on the shelf. So I'm going to start by looking at the Mulder figure first of all. As with all of the Sideshow collectible figures, obviously it does have that sort of gatefold flap there, which is really nice with a little bit of detailing on the panel, and you can see the figure inside the packaging, nicely presented. And here he is out of the packaging, of course, on his collector stand there. And I think the first thing you'll notice is the head sculpted likeness. And I've said before, with Sideshow collectibles, I really do feel that the head sculpt either makes or breaks these figures. And yeah, it's not good. And I hate to say that. I like to be complimentary as much as possible, but yeah, this is not a good likeness of David Duchovny. The face just looks a little bit too fat. There's something going on with like the paint apps on the lips there look a bit strange. Plus, there's this really greasy, shiny sheen over the whole face, which is really off-putting. It just doesn't look like David Duchovny. There are times when I don't know, I'm reminded of maybe John Travolta, so that's disappointing. Also, when the jacket is done up, it doesn't look quite right, and it looks like the collar's too loose on mine, and there's just a feeling of looking a bit dishevelled, really, which is a shame because there is some nice detailing on the figure, particularly on the clothing there. The material the tie's made of, the buttons on the shirt, and the belt and things like that all look really good. Where this figure shines though, it's in the accessories, and we can see these little details here, like his ID badge there. I mean, how intricate and how tiny is that? But the detail's amazing on it. Likewise, his pistol there with that articulation, with the chamber being able to pull it back there, I think that looks fantastic. And you can actually remove the clip from the gun there, and it has a bullet in it, so lots of detail, nice little extra feature there, it looks really good. It doesn't end there, of course, because we also have his I Want to Believe poster, a flashlight, his mobile phone, and that impaler thing that they used to stick in the back of the aliens' necks. And things definitely start to improve with this figure once you start putting his accessories in his hands there. So you can see, with the mobile phone and his gun in hand, he's starting to look a lot more like Mulder, what we'd recognise as Mulder. And there's some basic detailing on these accessories here. The mobile phone is articulated so it can fold up and down, and there's some decent colouring applied to them. So yeah, they look really good as props. And I really like that they gave him this poster too. It's perfect if you want to set up sort of a diorama and you've got an office scene and you want to hang that on the wall or whatever. I think it's a nice little touch there and gives a sense of scale. So yeah, I think that's a really cool little touch. So moving on to the Scully, again, the presentation on the box is exactly like the Mulder's, same layout, really nice colour scheme, nice presentation, looks great. And out of the box, as you can see, I think the overall look of the character is great, it's really spot on, looks brilliant, and things are looking much better when it comes to the head sculpt. This is a much better likeness, and this is what you'd expect from Sideshow. I really like that they gave Scully her long coat here. I think this is a really cool outfit that they've decided to go with, rather than going with just like say the suit look. I think this looks really cool, very distinctive. And I'm pleased Sideshow resisted the temptation to give Scully the sort of real hair look, and actually opted to give it like sort of that solid mould. Now there is a danger, of course, that this might have limited articulation, but as you can see, the head does spin from side to side nicely. There's not a great range in terms of looking up or down, but overall it's not a great hindrance, and I think it preserves the look of the character much better. Now when you open the coat, it's not quite as impressive. I do really like the shirt, and I think the trousers look cool, but the problem really is the shirt sort of rides up a little bit, which isn't a great look. Obviously it looks like it needs to be tucked in, so it's not quite long enough. Again, the accessories are really nice. I love the little clip badge there, it just looks great. But what Scully has that Mulder doesn't is this gun holster, and you can put the gun in there, and I think that looks fantastic, and that's a cool little detail I really like. One thing I would point out is that her shoes are actually moulded into the figure. So although there is articulation at the ankle, the shoe is part of the figure. It's not, you can't take the shoes off. That's obviously to support the heel, but they are quite weak. They do feel very plastic in texture, and she doesn't really balance on them very well. You are going to need the stand for this figure. She does come with more or less the same accessories as the Mulder figure. Obviously she's got a pistol, a mobile phone, and the torch. But what she does have that's different is this file, which is really cool, because inside the file we have all the individual photographs and sort of file information. I think this is great. These are shots taken from throughout the series, and I just think they look really cool, and they're shrunk down to scale. They just look great. And I was quite worried when I first opened her that her hands wouldn't be able to hold these items very well, because they're made of a sort of a firmer plastic. They don't have that same give, like the rubber feel that the male hands have. But as you can see, she holds all her accessories really well. They fit very comfortably in her hand, and there's no sense that they're just going to fall out. So I'm actually really pleased with these. And yeah, I think they look really effective. So I think they've done a fantastic job, and I think the Scully is probably, yeah, definitely more impressive than the Mulder. And so yeah, when you put them together, this is how they look, and I think they look pretty good together, to be honest. They definitely, you can get a variety of different dynamic poses out of them, and it's good to have them both together. It definitely captures that sense of or that feel from the show. So yeah, I think it's Sideshow did a nice job with these overall. I do think that the Scully is better in terms of the likeness, certainly, and probably overall presentation, to be honest. I do think the Mulder's very disappointing. I can't quite get over that likeness, really. It's just really it's not right. And like I said, on mine, there's a slight disheveled quality to the suit as well. I'm not sure if that's everyone's, but yeah, that's a little bit disappointing. But there you have it. That was a closer look at the X-Files Mulder and Scully Sideshow Collectible figures. I hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, please do give it a like, and remember to subscribe, as I will be posting more videos soon.